boot processing, again, every step you have to understand, because if it is goes for a troubleshooting. How to put it inside. Yeah. Okay. So here it is. What is an operating system? The computer contains hardware and computer what we have. Computer
Hello,
means.
sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, some noise is coming, not your voice.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, now it okay.
Again, you are getting any noise?
Yeah, no, sir. Now it is okay.
So your hardware means you have a CPU, you have a RAM, you have a hard disk. Okay. So yeah, we discussed some hardware components, right? So we have all these components, so like you have a RAM, CPU, NIC. Okay, like this you have a hardware components. So you want to run some application. You want to run application. For example, Paintbrush, or a web browser, or a WhatsApp application, or a Microsoft Teams application. You want to run an application. So how to run an application on the hardware? And to run an application also we need some environment, right? Maybe I want to check something, I want to create a file. So I may need maybe text based interface, or a graphical based interface, or a command line interface, or a graphical user interface. Somewhat interface is required to me, so then only I can able to work with my PC. So what I need a user interface to work with my PC. What is you are working with a PC means you're running an application, or you're writing some program and executing some program, whatever it is. But we don't know how to write directly a program or a run an application on a CPU, RAM kind of stuff, right? So what we need a operating system. Okay, we need a operating system. We don't know how to interact with a directly hardware and running an applications or a whatever we need user interface. This operating system is providing. It is in between you and your hardware. Okay, this operating system will provide a environment to run applications, and also it will provide a user interface. Operating system understand and works with your hardware also. So you given any instructions through your interface, so that operating system will understand your instructions and give it to your processor, and it is processed and it will show you an output from it. Okay, that is a two part. So operating system interact with the user and interacts with your hardware. Operating system runs your applications. Operating system provide an environment to run any applications. So that is a what operating system it is. What is a operating system means? So simple picture is there. So just for normal, so you can put a picture, because only plain text will not attract to. That's why I put a picture. Okay. So important one is what is an operating system. What is an operating system? Operating system is a software which acts as interface between end user and a computer hardware. Operating system is a software which acts as an interface between end user, means the user, and your hardware. Okay, every computer must have at least one operating system. Every computer must have at least one operating system to run other programs like a Google Chrome, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or you want to play games, you want to write a program, anything, we need a certain environment, right? So which we will get it from our operating system only. Operating system help you to communicate with the hardware without knowing how to speak computer language. What is computer language? A binary kind of language it is. Computer will understand different type of coding, like the recognition of device codes and all we should give. Here we are not giving anything, simply you open and run. Okay, so that's the point, guys. That is the main point of operating system. It is not possible for a user to use any computer or a mobile device without having operating system. Now people are thinking, so we have a smart mobile phones, then we know the operating system. We have an Android mobile, iOS mobile phone, then that is having some that is the operating system. Before that one, we have a standard or a featured mobile phones, not smartphone mobile, it is a featured mobile phone. Even to operate that one also, some operating system is required, which is inside of that one. Even including like what are the interact with you. So like you have seen a bike. Nowadays we got a new bike kind of stuff, right? Electrical bikes, normal bikes also having certain interface, like it will show a digital form of your information, right? So what is it that to operate that one also, there is a need some operating system. It is a kind of software only, not as other any other kind of stuff. This is a small point, guys. It is about what is the operating system architecture part. So we may get a space or not, we don't know. So we'll see. So already I told operating system, one side it will interact with the user and provide an environment to run a applications, right? So it will provide a environment to run any applications. Another side, operating system interact with the hardware, okay, where it will runs this your processing and all, right? So that is another part. So this is two parts. The operating system, which is we are providing environment to run applications and user interface, that part of operating system we call it as a kernel. And the operating system which interact with, sorry, reverse I've written. Operating system which provide a environment to run applications or user commands or user interface, that is shell. Operating system which interact with your hardware is called a kernel. Kernel part of operating system. Okay, so kernel and shell part of our operating system, guys. So here there is a drawing is also there. So otherwise you copy paste your drawing. So because we are not having much time, that's not a good diagram. It is. This is also good one. See, we have a hardware. On hardware, it is kernel part is interact. On kernel, we have a shell. This is a hardware. Kernel is the kernel part of operating system. Communicate with your hardware like CPU, RAM, your chipsets, everything like audio chip, video chip, everything is interact with your kernel part of operating system. User interact with the shell part of operating system. So provide that environment. So we'll doing it. I need a simple diagram. So this is additional users are showing. And otherwise it is showing a very simple part. This is somewhat better. Usually I draw. Okay, so here it is. The kernel, what it will do, interact with the hardware, means kernel manages your hardware related things like a disk management, process management, memory management, file management. So like file system not file management, file system management, disk management, memory management, process management. Everything will be taken care by your kernel only. For example, you want to take a print, you given a print command from your shell, but that will give information to your kernel. The kernel will try to find where is the printer device, what is the drivers for a printer device. The drivers will help you to understand, communicate with the printer. So kernel part of kernel part of your operating system using a printer drivers to communicate with the printer, and it will give the command to the printer, so take this print like this, then we'll get a print. Okay, so for example, you are playing a song, you are watching a YouTube video, for example, or maybe you are playing a song. There in system we have a audio chip. Now you are listening through my mic, I'm speaking. My mic will gather the information and convert into electrical form of signals and electrical signal into the binary signal part. Okay, so then it is, so the audio chip should understand how to work with this. For example, I'm giving an example, right? I'm playing a song. I have a speakers are connected, either built-in speakers, headphones, whatever it is connected. I'm playing a song, and how can I able to hear? So first the song code is in the shell. You are interacting, you are playing a song, but song code is will convert into the kernel understandable language, that will done by shell. The kernel take the code and runs on your audio chip, and it convert into the wave format and give it to your speaker. Speaker will generate a sound outside. Okay, so this is a kernel and shell. Without kernel and shell, you can't able to interact with the operating system. Shell interacts with the user. It provides a user interface, runs applications. So guys, this diagram, kernel and shell words, you hear only when you are learning Unix and Linux. But the kernel and shell for any operating system, kernel and shell is common. Okay, kernel part and shell part is common. In Unix and Linux, currently we are using bash shell, BASH, Bourne again shell. Okay, earlier days of bash shell, we have a Bourne shell is there. Now it is Bourne again shell is there. Not only this, different shells also available. Okay. Okay, guys. So operating system In that one, so it will provide a user interface. What is this user interface? CLI command line interface. CLI command line interface means you have to give any command or input, or you want to see the outcome of your process is in the command line only. Example, you go to the CMD. Okay, just I'm showing like this. Only this is a command line. Like you want to give any instructions, so you can give it by using a command. Like I want to create a file. I want to see the date. Okay, this is the date it is showing. I want to see the time. I want to check the process. I want to create a file. I want to delete a file. I want to run a script. Okay, everything I can able to do with my command line, of course. Okay, so this is command line interface. Every time you have to type a command to get some information or to give information. Okay, next one is GUI. We are all seeing GUI only, graphical user interface, right? So for example, I want to do certain tasks, then I can easily simply select things. I can go to the part and I can able to get that information, right? I want to create a file, simply right click and create a new file or create a folder. Okay, I want to run an application, directly go and double click on that application, right? So that is a GUI, graphical user interface, thinks everything, it is directly visible to you. You can use simply, you can able to work with it. GUI. Text based or terminal based user interface, that is a thing. Some people think that is new one. No, guys, it is very old one. If you remember old, if you know old Turbo C, okay, that is having a one option is there. That is, you want to save, you want to run, you can direct, you can go to the interface. So that is, so TUI, text based or a terminal based interface. It is not completely CLI, it is not completely GUI. Okay, so you have to use a keyboard to give inputs. It is text based user interface. So important user interfaces are CLI and GUI. Command line interface, graphical user interface. Guys, understand up to here? We discussed about operating systems. So in operating systems also there is a different types are there. Okay, there is a different type of operating systems. So we'll see what kind of operating systems are there. So here it is. I put a types of OSs. Different type of OSs are there. So one is SOS and OS. This is one part. So small parts are there. So we'll take SOS and OS. Types of operating system, SOS type and OS type of operating system. Simple operating system, network operating system. Simple operating system means generally desktop based operating systems. Okay, user interface. Okay, desktop based operating system, Windows 10, Windows 11, Ubuntu desktop. These are our desktop based operating systems, simple operating systems. Network operating system. Network operating systems are a server based operating system. Network operating system is actually server based operating system. Windows server operating system like 2016, 2019, 2022. Linux operating system, Unix operating system are a server based operating systems only. And a type of operating system based on the user and task. So here it is based on the type of one type of operating system I told, but here it is based on user and task type of operating systems, guys. Single user, single task, single user, multitask, multi-user, multitask. Single user, single task operating system is generally for Microsoft DOS operating system. Single user, single task means only one task you can run at a time and only one user can log in at a time. Single user, single task. Okay. So one task you can run at a time and multiple, not multiple, only single user can log in. Example is Microsoft DOS. Single user multitasking. Single user multitasking. The single user Means only one user at a time he can log in. For example, you have a Windows system. Windows system, you log in with one user, and you want to log in with other user, you have to log out, other user can able to log in. Either it is a physical access or remote access of a Windows system, only one user at a time, by default, they can able to log in. Multi-user multitask. Multi-user multitask. What is the multi-user multitask? One system.
At one time, many users can.
Very good. So multiple tasks we can run, and multiple users at a time they can log in. Means one user is login, other user also can log in, both physically and remotely. Like one Linux server is there. Okay, so I can log in from my LAN connectivity, or someone in the LAN connectivity they can able to log in. That is a remote login. Through network I can log into my Linux server, and physically also 2-3 users up to 7 users directly they can log into your Linux system. Up to 7 users, okay, at a time, directly physically. Through network, so a lot of users. Next one is, guys, real-time operating system. Next one is real-time operating system. Another type of operating system is real-time operating system. If you are using satellite stations are there, or maybe automatic cars are came, automatic bikes are came. Okay. Actually say it is, guys. So real-time operating system means you design an operating system for a specific hardware with a certain specific features inside. It's not like a general purpose operating system. For example, you take a Windows operating system, general purpose, any different type of hardware support is there. Any person, you or me, can able to use Windows operating system. Same as a Linux operating system, Unix operating system. These operating system are general purpose, means you take an operating system, you can use it as per your requirement. Okay, as per the given and as per your requirement, you use an operating system. You can use operating system in laptop or a desktop or a different type of hardwares. You can use it based on their support. A real-time operating system is specifically designed for a certain task, for a certain hardware component. Like you take a AC, so their specific operating system is written for that one, for interacting with the user, how to interact, how to calculate, how to process. This is some set of instructions inside. Everything is a set of instructions only, right? For example, satellite control or maybe aeroplane related. So they don't use Windows, right? You know, maybe some of you experience Windows operating system. I'm not talking about errors. I'm talking about regular things. You know, one day I have a serious classes there, Saturdays, sometimes like that. I will put a classes, Fridays, Saturdays. So what will happen? My Windows will get updated in background. System becomes slower. Okay. Sometimes it is restart and update and restart, update and shut down. So it will take a lot of time, right? If in case one flight is going, so meanwhile, you know, if Windows getting updated, what will happen? So that's a danger, right? You know, there is a joke in the Space Force series, like so satellite has to be send. We should get. They should send us certain commands to the satellite. So otherwise, it will the crash will happen between two satellites. So what happened? The guy will went to the his system. Its Windows update is going on. Okay, so we don't use general operating system there. We are using a specific design. You have to design an operating system for it based on your requirement, your connectivity, your interface. You have to design. Okay, that is a real-time operating system. Another one is distributed OS. What is distributed OS means? The operating system runs on a multiple computers. Distributed applications, distributed OSs. Very simple to tell. Operating system runs on a multiple computers. Next, mobile operating system. This is, you know, guys, already in the starting only I told. So find out difference between Android and iOS kind of stuff. Again, mobile operating system. Different mobile operating systems are there. Now popular one is Android and iOS. You know, earlier days very popular before Android and iOS. Highlighted operating system is BlackBerry operating system and BlackBerry mobile. Now it is not there in the mobile. Nokia used their own operating system called as Symbian, and Samsung uses Tizen. Okay, and different companies like HTC, AT&T, they use Windows operating system, Windows Phone operating system or Windows Mobile operating system is there earlier. Okay, so even Nokia launched Lumina series with a Windows Phone operating system, but Windows 8, 8.1 run, but lot of losses, lot of different market strategy. So Windows Phone is not become popular. Okay, Android become popular because of the Samsung start giving a mobile phone with a 6,000 rupees. Okay. So these are the different type of operating system. This is about a desktop and server operating systems, guys. Simple line. So actually I want to skip, but it's okay, good, it is to know. When we are discussed about SOS and NYS, so we got this information, that is SOS, simple operating system. SOS is a simple operating system. NYS is a network operating system. What is this simple operating system? I told it is a desktop operating system. What is the difference between desktop and server operating system, guys? Desktop operating system, we can run general purpose, any applications, we can play games, we do multimedia kind of stuff, web browsing, audio, video kind of stuff. And your desktop operating system is actually like a end user devices, like in the domain environment or server environment. You are become a client to server, or you are become a end user in the network, right? So like that it will be there. You don't provide any services, you will get a service to you. So that is a you will take a service. That is a server operating system. Okay, it's a test of it. What is a server OS? Server OS having a built-in features or support server applications. It supports server application. It has a built-in features, server features or a roles. Okay, we can install our applications by installing some server applications, support server application kind of stuff, or packages. Okay, simplification, guys. By supporting certain server applications or built-in features or roles, a server become a specific server. Here it is, there is a DHCP server, DNS server, VPN server, web server, application server, file server, mail server, authentication server, proxy server, deployment server, database server, remote desktop server. Like a different type of servers are there, guys. So how a server become a specific server, like server operating system is server operating system only, but different type of servers based on the service. It is providing. If there is a type of servers based on what service it is providing. I have a Windows server. means Windows Server operating system is installed. Linux server operating system is installed. That's it. But if you install a certain application, server application and configure, or maybe install a built-in features or a roles and you configure it, your server become a particular server. Okay, DHCP server, DNS server, VPN server, web server, mail server, like that. Database server. Last one for today, guys, that is difference between Windows and Linux operating system. Yes, up to now, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There is a few points, general points only, guys. Try to remember or try to recollect. Try to remember, that is the point, first one. The first one is like a Windows operating system is non-proprietary, non-open source operating system. Non-proprietary, non-open source operating system. Okay, sorry. First of all, Windows operating system is not a open source. Linux is a open source. Originally say guys, Linux operating system, it is not even an operating system. It is a kernel. Linux actually it is a kernel which is invented by Linus Torvald, developed by Linus Torvald. Linux, open source, guys, free application or a free operating system does not mean open source. What is a open source? Like you have a program or an application or an operating system. The source code, because everything is a program, right? Everything is a program. The source code of that operating system or an application is available to everyone. The source code is available. Not a like I got a free application. It does not mean it is open source. That's just application is free. I don't know what is the source code of it. But in a Linux, is a open source means the source code of a Linux operating system is available to everyone. So as we discussed, maybe for your batch or other batch, I didn't remember, but you want to become a certain developer or maybe you want to create your own operating system, you can simply download Linux kernel from here and start doing coding, kernel development, shell development. You can have your own operating system. So that's Linux given a license. What is the open source? You can take a source code, develop as per your requirement, and you can distribute either free distribution or maybe paid distribution. You can do it as per your. Windows is not a open source. Windows operating system proprietary is proprietary is Microsoft. Linux do not have any proprietor, but it is developed by Linus Torvald. Who is the Linus Torvald, guys? Anybody knows? Anyone seen? Any experience? Linus. He is the guy who is behind your Linux and GitHub. He is also founder of Git and GitHub. And there is a Linux Torvald TED Talk is there. So when you type in Google Linus Torvalds, TED Talk is there. That is also very good TED Talk. Okay, this is Linus Torvald. It's a and it took a Unix basic Unix kernel part, small part in a Unix, and he developed a Linux and he make the Linux kernel as a open source available to everyone. Okay, and Linux having a several distributors means so many people come forward, so many organizations come forward and develop the Linux into different Linuxes. Example, Ubuntu Linux, CentOS, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Debian, Fedora, Scientific Linux. There's a lot of Linux flavors are came into market. Okay. And Windows having a powerful GUI, and we use very less time of CLI, and Linux powerful CLI and less use of GUI. Okay. Microsoft only developed this Windows operating system and distribute operating system. And coming to the Linux is developed and distributed by different organizations, and there is a several distributions also there. Windows, the basic things like your files and folders, commands, mostly it is a non-case sensitive. It is not a case sensitive in Windows, whereas a Linux, it is a case sensitive. And in Windows, we have to pay for a license. You want to use a Windows operating system, you need a license, then you have to pay for the license. In Linux, it's mostly it is a license is free license. It is generally Linux is free based on GPL and GNU not Unix kind of stuff. General public license version 2, the given license is free, so any person can able to use without paying any license fee. And Windows based viruses won't work in a Linux because this type of programs or a structure is not there, like a execution of .exe file, Win32 based files, that does not work here. Okay, so that's why it is the Windows based viruses won't work in a Linux, and Linux don't do any self executions. Okay. In Windows, we have a desktop operating system and a server-based operating system, whereas in Linux, you have a server operating system and less desktop. Means Ubuntu desktop is a desktop-based operating system, but mostly Linux and Unix mainly server-based operating system only. Linux is a not a much user-friendly, but it is required a compulsory trained professional. Windows is not like that. So it is a GUI, so even a small person knows. I mean, nowadays kids are using Windows operating system very simple, right? Yes.
No,
Just
sir.
go. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, Ubuntu is also the operating system.
Ubuntu is also an operating system, Linux-based operating system.
Yes, sir. But I said like one person currently using Windows 10 in your laptop.
Yes.
Then and also right on my laptop Ubuntu. Then what is currently using in my laptop?
Okay. Some people are trying to put both the things aside. Like one is like main is Windows 10. Inside Windows 10, they try to install Ubuntu inside, like an application. Okay. If in case if it is already there, then don't touch it. Okay. If in case in future anybody trying to do this kind of stuff, don't do it. Okay, guys, there is a virtualization concept is there now. So you can better if you want to practice Ubuntu or any other operating system, put it in a virtual machines. Okay, remember that one. And
Yes, sir.
then the Ubuntu
But
having that compatibility to we can put install Windows Ubuntu inside your same C drive. We can put it that one. Both Windows 10 and Ubuntu. Ubuntu is an operating system. So when you start your PC, you have to boot with either Windows or Ubuntu. You have to choose that option, right? Only one operating system works at a time on a one single physical machine, physical operating system, as a physical operating system, either Ubuntu or a Windows. Okay, and very important, guys. Windows is a multi-user multitasking. Sorry. Windows is a single user multitasking. Linux is multi-user multitasking. And another important one is why we need a Unix or Linux operating system. Linux is comparatively Windows, it utilizes a less hardware footprint. When I try to teach that I'm I want to develop and teaching is DevOps related. So I install Jenkins, Git, Maven, Eclipse, Python, and Docker. So when I put a Docker, it is completely my Windows virtual machine is damaged. But same thing I developed in a Linux based machine. Happy with a 2 GB RAM, it is working very fast. With a 6 GB RAM, my Windows is not working. Okay, so that's important, guys. Windows is a basically GUI based system. GUI based means automatically need a more hardware requirement to run any applications or even to run an operating system also more hardware requirement. Coming to the part, we can coming to the Linux or Unix, lesser GUI, more CLI based one. So obviously less hardware footprint. Means we don't require more hardware to run an operating system and their applications also. So compulsory check once what is the difference between Windows and Linux. So that is for today. Tomorrow, so morning we have a class. Afternoon also mostly I will put an afternoon class also. So any changes I will tell. We will discuss some services in the Windows 10 troubleshooting related to Windows 10 certain services and troubleshooting and boot processing also I will tell tomorrow, and I will add up to some other things also. Did I share the operating system PPT?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
So stop the recording.